Good evening here at the Sun Mosh ground at Real Mallorca, where today we have a very interesting matchup. Real Mallorca are going to be taking on Alavés away today at the Estadio de Mendizorroza. It's going to be a very complicated one out here. We're just about 15 minutes away from kickoff. We still got plenty to talk about. My name is Daniel Armstrong. Thank you so much for tuning in to the YouTube Play Red channel. If you are new, make sure to subscribe, to leave a like, and to turn on push notifications. Now, we've still got plenty to talk about. Right now, it's critical times for Real Mallorca, not just for them, but also for Alavés. We're looking at two teams, both in desperate need of the 3 points. Real Mallorca out here today playing at a really complicated stadium, I would argue. It's really not going to be an easy matchup for Real Mallorca, neither for Alavés. I think both teams are going to struggle to get those 3 points out here today, but I just think at this end stage of the season, at a stadium like this, it really is going to be a tough one, and I think Mallorca need to play at their highest level if they want to get any type of points out here today. As we are aware, the Estadio de Mendizorroza, it's really not an easy one to get the 3 points at, especially throughout this stage of the season. We've seen that they have been getting good results, Alavés recently. And when it comes to playing at home, Alavés are one of the tougher sides to face at the minute in LaLiga. So, let's just get right into it and talk about last week out for Real Mallorca, where they did face up against Valencia. It was Mallorca 1, Valencia 1, so Mallorca shared the points at home in their latest La Liga outing in a balanced and competitive game at the Sun Mosh Stadium. Both sides created chances, but neither could find a winner, leaving Mallorca with a draw and 1 point to continue fighting in the table. Now, it was a good matchup last week out for Mallorca. It is true that ever since the arrival of the new manager, Martin de Michelis, it's been nothing but positive for Mallorca. It really has. You know, ever since his arrival, we've been seeing very good results. We've won at home, 2-1 de Espanyol, and then they've won also their last 3 out of 4 games at home, up against Real Madrid, up against Rayo Vallecano. Last week out, also at home, it was a draw, so nothing but positive results realistically. But it is true that last week out was a bit of a disappointing result. I think Real Mallorca last week out dominated the matchup against Valencia. They created chance after chance, and they should have been scoring about 3 or 4 goals in that matchup. You know, taking a look at the stats here up against Valencia, 59% possession for Mallorca and 41% for Valencia. So possession-wise, you know, similar, not too bad. But then when you look at the shots on target, you've got 19 shots and 8 on target for Mallorca. And for Valencia, it was 9 shots with only 3 on target. So again, you know, with 19 shots and getting 8 of them on target, you need to be getting more than 1 goal. It should have been 3 huge points last week out for Mallorca, especially playing at home. But they just couldn't manage to get it. It ended up being a draw, which, you know, isn't terrible. But considering they're playing at home, considering the form they're in, and when they're playing up against a team like Valencia that also haven't been doing so well, it should have been the 3 points out there last week. Either way, not a terrible result. We move on to this week. I think this is going to be a much harder match than the last week match, than the Valencia one. Out here today, you know, Mallorca have played 3 matches in a row at home, and I think when they play at home, they're a lot better. Today they're playing away up against a tough side at a tough stadium. I think it's going to be a difficult one. And if Mallorca do play like they did last week out, they won't be getting a result out here today. If we look at Alavés, their recent matchups, they, you know, it has been decent for them. They've had some tough matches and they've been scoring plenty and plenty of goals. I think this Alavés side defensively are weak, but offensively they definitely know how to score a lot of goals. And when it comes to playing at home, defensively they tighten up a lot at the back. They get better and they do know how to break very well on the counter-attack. Real Mallorca have won 3 out of their last 5 La Liga matches, and Alavés have actually only managed to win 1 out of the last 5. But a lot of them for Alavés were draws. They have got 3 draws in their last 5. And also, looking at the results, looking at the matches, they were away matches. They were tough matches against tough opponents. So you have to take that also into consideration. But don't take anything away from Mallorca, as I think they've been in brilliant form recently. Now, let's just take a look at the last time out for Alavés. And they did face up against one of the toughest teams in La Liga, Real Madrid. And I mean, we are aware recently that Real Madrid have had a huge drop in form. And they've not realistically been getting any results. It's been really, really poor recently from Real Madrid. I think ever since they faced up against Mallorca, I think ever since that matchup, everything they've gone through after, it's been really, really poor for them. Either way, Alavés were narrowly beaten away at the Santiago Bernabeu Stadium in their latest La Liga outing. They did put in a competitive performance and managed to stay in the game, but Real Madrid edged it with 2 goals, while Alavés could only respond with 1. Despite their efforts, they couldn't find a late equalizer and left without any points. So a loss last week out for Alavés. Of course, they were playing at the Bernabeu Stadium, which, as we all know, it's a world-class stadium. It's not easy to get the 3 points out there, so we can't really go much off of it. So a disappointing result for Alavés last week out. I don't think they could expect much, but to be fair, they were facing a Real Madrid team that, have been giving away points against any team in La Liga recently. If we do look at the table, we are completely aware that the 3 points are huge for both of these teams out here today. And I mean, the bottom of the table is getting really, really interesting. It's at the moment just a fight for survival. 1 minute you could be at the bottom, you win a match, you get 3 points, and the next you're just climbing all the way at the top. That's just how close it is at the bottom of the La Liga table at the minute. It's very, very entertaining, I will say, but also very, very crucial and important for all of these teams. Now, looking at the table, Real Mallorca are currently sitting at 15th place with 35 points on the table, meaning they have drawn 8 matches, they've won 9, and they've lost 13. Actually, fun fact for you, Mallorca have only lost 1 out of their last 5 matches. Again, as I've been saying, recent form ever since the arrival of this man on screen right here, Martin de Michelis, the new manager. Mallorca have just had the most positive upbringing, the most positive results. It really, really has been good. But I'm not going to put out the fact that they're facing a really tough Alavés team out here today and away from home after playing 3 home matches in a row. And if we do look at Alavés, they're currently sitting at 18th place, so just in their relegation zone with 33 points on the table, only 2 points behind Mallorca, meaning they've won 8, they've drawn 9, and they've lost 15. Whoever gets the win out here today will be taking each other's place. Alavés on 33 points. If they win, they'll be on 36. They'll overtake Mallorca. But if Real Mallorca win, they'll go up with 38, and Alavés will stay with 33 in that relegation zone. So, again, whoever gets the 3 points out there today is huge. Mallorca to stay away from relegation, and Alavés just to crawl out of it. It's huge. I think both teams are going to be fighting for it out there today. I think it's going to be a very interesting one, and I just think whoever plays the bravest will be getting the 3 points out here today. Mallorca are coming to the stadium. I think they might feel the slightest bit of fear knowing that if they lose today, they could drop back into the relegation. And playing finally away from home, I think they're going to be a bit wary of the result. I think they're going to be maybe a bit nervous on the ball. And I think Mallorca, they just need to shake that all off and just go to score goals. Because, as I said, this Alavés side, defensively, definitely isn't the strongest. But offensively, they are very, very good at scoring goals. So again, I think it is going to be a very, very close one. If I was to guess a result, I'd say a 1-1 draw right now. 1-1 draw, that's my prediction. So if you want to take a look at the screen here, right now you can take a look at the highlights for last week out for Real Mallorca, where they faced up against Valencia at the Sonmos Stadium. Again, it was a good performance. Mallorca did dominate the match, but they didn't get the 3 points when they should have. They couldn't make the most of their chances. The build-up play was good, creative. It was very good. One-on-ones. They did so many things right, but they just need to be scoring their chances. They couldn't manage to do it, and it cost them the 3 points last week out. Now, we're just about 5 minutes away from kickoff. And until then, we're going to take a look at the last time that Mallorca played against Alavés, and that was all the way back in September 2025. In their most recent clash, Mallorca secured a narrow home win at the Sonmos Stadium. It was actually Takuma Asano who scored the only goal in the first half, and Mallorca held the firm defensively for the rest of the match. So a 1-0 result last time they faced each other. That was all the way back in September. And Takuma Asano scored the goal, his only goal of the season. That's really, really interesting because, looking at last week out, Takuma Asano made it in the starting lineup for the first time in ages. We haven't really been seeing much of Takuma Asano. And, last week out, I think he was just very poor. I think he didn't give enough for the team. And I think he cost them a lot offensively because Mallorca need the type of player up front that's fast, creative, good with their feet. And Takuma Asano, he just couldn't bring that to the table last week out. He's not made it into the starting lineup this week. And I can't say I'm surprised. I just think his performance wasn't good enough. I think it needs to be better. And I think as soon that Jambi Gili came on, he made that impact that Mallorca needed. He was fast, constantly getting shots, dribbling through, putting in crosses. That's exactly the type of player Mallorca need up front. So just a few minutes away from kickoff, we can see the Mallorca players getting ready. The man up front, of course, for Mallorca today, the man to watch out for is Vedat Muriqi, who's currently on 21 goals this season, scoring a brace in the last 2 weeks, currently making him the second maximum goal scorer of the league. Kylian Mbappe has the first place spot with 24 goals, and just 3 goals behind him is Vedat Muriqi, the striker for Real Mallorca. It's really, really interesting, the fact that the second maximum goal scorer and the third highest goal scorer in Europe is in a team that's currently fighting to stay out of relegation. It really is interesting because you look at the other players that are the maximum goal scorers in Europe. You've got Erling Haaland, who's playing for Man City. That's at the top of the table. You've got Harry Kane, who's playing for Bayern Munich, who mathematically have already won the league. Then you've got Kylian Mbappe, Real Madrid, who's sitting at second place, a Real Madrid team that's usually top of the table. And then you've got Vedat Muriqi, who's a striker for a club like Mallorca, who's fighting for relegation. It's really, really impressive stuff from him, the Pirate, to be sitting on 21 goals and to be playing at a team that, are currently in the form that the way they are. If you took Vedat Muriqi, if you put him at a top club, how many goals would he have this season? So impressive from him, converting over 60% of Real Mallorca's goals. What a player he is. So now we've got the Real Mallorca players currently lining up in the tunnel along the side of the Alavés players. And I think it really is going to be a tough one. I can imagine plenty of support from those Alavés fans out there today, as Alavés in desperate need of a win, as Real Mallorca need it. So now the players walking out of the tunnel and onto the pitch here at the Estadio de Mendizorroza. Alavés up against Real Mallorca. Who will be walking away with the 3 points today? Or will they be sharing a point each? If we're looking at face-to-face between these two sides, in the last 5 matchups, Mallorca have only won one of them. Alavés also only managed to win one of them. And the other 3 were draws. So I think it's going to be very interesting and a very close matchup. And the away team, Mallorca, have won just once in the last 15 meetings between these two sides. Which, I mean, is definitely not a positive for them. Alavés looking strong in form, and matters of fact, Alavés have won 5 of 7 home games up against Real Mallorca. So safe to say that Mallorca don't have a very good history when it comes to playing at this stadium. A few changes in the lineup for Mallorca as Jambigili makes it back into the starting 11. Zito Luvumbo still out injured. The player who Real Mallorca signed not so long ago on loan, that's made a huge impact for Mallorca ever since his arrival. He's still going to be out injured till the middle of May. Mateo Joseph still out for the rest of the season. So a few changes in the lineup as Jambigili finally starts for Mallorca after quite some time of being out and playing on the bench. Davi Lopez and Martin Valgent, the 2 center backs. Omar Mascarell finally playing at his usual center defensive mid position, as recently he was making appearances playing as a center back due to the lack of injuries that Real Mallorca have been picking up. And I think the man to watch for Alavés this season is going to be that man right there, Lucas Boye, who's currently the maximum goal scorer for Alavés. And he's gotten 11 goals for his side this season. So I think he's going to be another player that we're going to have to keep an eye on throughout this matchup. And there is a bit of a standing ovation for Ander Guevara, who makes his 100th appearance for the club. And you can see he gets a picture there with his family. A good gesture for him and for the club. Things you love to see in football. And an early kickoff out here today. A 2 p.m. Saturday kickoff. Not something we usually see very, very often. So I'm just wondering how many fans will be showing up to this one for Alavés. Obviously, they're going to need as much support as possible. And these Alavés players will want the fans to show up to support their team on forward. So now the referee blows the whistle and we are on the way. here at the Estadio de Mendizorroza. The match kicks off and Alavés attacking with full force with their kickoff. I think we're going to see an intense matchup between these two sides. Both of them wanting to chase that goal. And right away, foul there on Johan Mojica. And a free kick for Mallorca. 30 seconds in, and we've had the first foul. It was by that number 7, Perez, who committed the foul. And there he is, Martin De Michelis on the sidelines. Pushing his team on forward. So now Leo Roman playing it short into Martin Valgent. I'm just wondering how the two centre backs, Martin Valgent and David Lopez, are going to be performing out there today. It's a really important one. There's no room for mistakes, so we'll see how it goes for them. Foul there committed by Pablo Maffeo. So now here's Sivera in possession and Alavés now with the ball to drive forward. And I think Alavés aren't going to be shy of taking the ball forward. I think they're going to try and chase for that first goal in this first half. I think they're going to force it. The question is Mallorca going to be able to deal with that? And now, by the looks of it, a bit of an injury already here in the first few minutes. It's Boye. He was sprinting to chase that ball down up against David Lopez. And Lucas Boye has already gone down. This doesn't look good at all for Alavés. We're only 2 minutes and a half in. And their highest goal scorer is down on the ground. There it is there. As he's just running, sprinting on along the sides of David Lopez. You can just see him. It looks like it's the back part of his thigh. It could be his hamstring that's been pulled. And this doesn't look promising for Alavés. You've really got to feel bad for them. So now Lucas Boye is back on his feet. And it's definitely the hamstring that he's been dealing with there. You can see it as soon as he hits the sprint. Hands on his hamstring there. That's where it hits. And he's going to have to come off now for Alavés. And you've really got to feel bad for him. You really do. 2 minutes and a half in. And he's already coming off injured. Lucas Boye, their maximum goal scorer this season, 11 goals. It's not good news for Alavés. So he comes off, and replacing him is going to be Ibrahim Diabate. Now the play continues, and Mallorca are in possession. A questionable pass there from Samu Costa, causing trouble for Martin Valgent. And it's so early on that fans are still walking into the stadium, and Lucas Boye has already come off injured. You've really got to feel bad for him. In such a critical stage of the league, he'll want to help push his team on forward. You can see it there, putting an ice pack just on the bottom part of his thigh. And if you've ever played football before, you know that dealing with injuries on that part of the leg is no joke. I've had it before. So now Johan Mojica takes the throw in. Playing it short, and Real Mallorca are going to play it all the way back. Here's Martin Valgent into Leo Roman. First few minutes in here now, and neither of these sides have had a shot on target or a big chance created. I just have a feeling that maybe we could have a bit of a slow first half. And as I mentioned, I think in this first half, I think Mallorca are just going to be a little bit scared to push forward. And I think Alavés will have a bit more confidence to try and push for the first goal. So now Pablo Maffeo plays the long ball looking for Gian Virgili. And in the end, it goes right to the hands of Sivera. So now a long ball looking for the substitute Diabate. It's a good challenge there from Omar Mascarell. Lovely tackle there by Omar Mascarell. Ibrahim Diabate coming on within the first few minutes, and I'm sure he didn't expect that one. So now Alavés giving away the ball poorly to Samu Costa. Vedam Muriqi could chase it down. And luckily Sivera came out first. So now here comes Samu Costa. Good challenge by Sergi Derder. Now a throw-in for Alavés. Martin Valgent. Here's Pablo Torre trying to skip past his man. Blanco does very well to get the ball back. Blanco plays it short. Playing it down this left-hand side. Here's Rebac. Trying to put in the cross. It's cleared. And Sergi, they're not taking any chances. What a ball that is there into Pablo Torre. Now Mallorca could have a chance. Here's Pablo Torre. Down this left-hand side. Pablo Torre into Mojica. Mojica puts in the cross looking for Muriqi. But in the end, into the hands of Sivera. A good build-up play there from Mallorca. It was a dangerous counter-attack. And I think that might be Mallorca's game plan today. Let Alavés attack a bit more and then break on the counter-attacks. Here's Ibranez. Ibranez on this left-hand side into Rebac. Here's Rebac. Attacking down this left-hand side. And there was just a bit too much pace on that pass from Alenya. So it's going to be a goal kick for Mallorca. And there's the manager for Alavés, Quique Sanchez Flores. And I mean, Alavés started off the season positively, but I think as we went into the second round, we saw a huge drop in form from this Alavés side. Otto in possession. Otto into Tenaglia. Alavés trying to find a way forward. Mallorca putting on a bit of pressure. They do well to get the build-up play. Omar Mascarell trying to keep the ball in play. Good pressure from Alavés, but also very well defended from Mallorca. In the end, they throw in for Alavés. They take it quickly. And in the end, it's cleared by Omar Mascarell. Causing a bit of trouble down that right-hand side so far, Alavés. And now with Lucas Boye coming off injured, I'm not sure if they're going to switch up the dynamic or if their game plan will continue being the same as it was before. And Mallorca have conceded 49 goals in 32 league matches. It just goes to show defensively how poor they've been this season. Ever since the arrival of Martin Demichelis, it has gotten a bit better, but they've still continued to concede goals. Defensively, I think next season they're definitely going to need to make some changes. So now Perez trying to put in the cross. It goes over into that second post. It finds Rebak. Rebak into Aleña. Aleña puts in the cross looking for Ibrahim. Perez puts in the cross again. It almost finds Ibrahim. The danger was dealt with. Luckily, it just went over Ibrahim. Now Sergi Darder trying to play the ball into Jan Virgili. But the pass from Sergi Darder was just a bit too heavy. And now Alavés back in possession. And by the looks of it, for Alavés at the minute, most of the danger is coming from that right-hand side. Trying to play the ball forward. David Lopez gets taken down. So it's going to be a free kick here now for Mallorca, and they're back in possession. You can just see steps on the back of his foot there, Martinez. So now Mallorca in possession. Here's Maffeo. Leo Roman into Martin Valgens. Martin Valgens back to Leo Roman. And Real Mallorca slowly looking for a way to push forward. Alavés have scored 11 goals in their last 5 league matches. Definitely not a bad record for the side. Offensively looking strong. Now Samu Costa gets taken down and a free kick for Mallorca. You can see Rebak thinks otherwise. We'll take a look at the replay here. And he does take him down intentionally. I think he just tries to hide the fact that it was intentional there, Rebak. But the referee did spot it and he's awarded the free kick. Sergi Darder is going to put in the cross for Mallorca. The first proper set-piece play of the matchup. Will anything come from it? Now Sergi Darder puts in the cross. Alavés managed to bring it down in the end. Perez deals with the danger. And at the minute, nothing but a throw-in for Alavés. 15 minutes in here now. And so far looking like an equal matchup. Not much to work off of at the minute. I think it's been a bit of a slow start for both of these sides, realistically. So now Alavés take the free kick quickly. Here's Ibanez. Ibanez into Aleña. Aleña out wide into Rebac. Rebac tries putting in the cross from a distance. But nothing but a throw-in for Alavés. So now Rebac. Samu Costa chases the ball down. Aleña does very well to keep possession. Here come Alavés. Now down this right-hand side into... Here comes Perez. Perez up against Mojica. He puts in the low cross. Martin Valgens decides to clear the cross. And now it's going to be a corner for Alavés. He's doing well so far. Perez down that right-hand side. He's proving to create problems for Mallorca. And he's already put in 3 crosses in this matchup. So now Alavés put in the cross again. Leo Roman gets his fists on it. Sergi Darder with the block. Here's Samu Costa into Gianvirgili. Veda Muriqui. It's good build-up play here from Mallorca. And a free kick now for Veda Muriqui. As Blanco commits the foul just to break the counter-attack. And you think it could have been a yellow card there. I think he's lucky not to get booked there, Blanco. Now here's Pablo Torre. With a lovely pass into Samu Costa. He plays it into Gianvirgili. Gianvirgili takes the shot off and he puts it into the back of the net. What a goal from Gianvirgili. From outside the box into that top right corner. And out of nowhere, Mallorca have taken the lead 17 minutes in. It's a beautiful strike from Gianvirgili. And he gets his second goal of the season. What a strike from the player. An absolutely beautiful goal. 17 minutes in here now. It all starts with the pass from Pablo Torre, which is spectacular, into Samu Costa. Samu Costa plays it into Gianvirgili. He cuts in, takes it with his right, and just curls it into that bottom right corner. An absolutely beautiful goal there from Gianvirgili. Spectacular shots and a spectacular goal. And I will say, you've got to give the credit there to Pablo Torre. The spin and the accurate pass from him. It's a long pass he has to commit as well. Just plays it into Samu Costa. Samu Costa, he's got all the time in the world. He plays it into Gianvirgili. And then the rocket strike from the youngster. Absolutely brilliant. And now, Real Mallorca lead. 1-0 here at the Estadio Mendiozorra. Absolutely brilliant from Mallorca. And as the play restarts already, there's a foul there on Pablo Torre. Does well Pablo Torre to get the ball back, but then the foul committed by Otto. And I'll tell you what, I didn't expect Mallorca to get a goal so early on. It didn't even look like None of these teams were creating a lot of chances. But then just out of nowhere, a spectacular goal to take the lead for Mallorca. It's an absolutely beautiful goal. I almost jumped right out of my seat. So now Mallorca playing the long ball, looking for Giambirigili, who decides to chase it down. He does well to chase it down, and he gets the corner for Mallorca. Brilliant work ethic there from Giambirigili. He was nowhere near close to getting to that ball, but he chased it down in the end, and he got the corner from his side. I think it just bounces off at Tenaglia in the end. So the referee awards the corner. And now a corner for Mallorca. Can they make anything from it? Sergi Darder puts in the cross. Sivera deals with the danger. Muriqi gets a touch on it. But in the end, nothing but a throw-in for Alavés. And with Mallorca in the lead, if they can just hold on till the end of the first half, it would be huge for them to take a lead so early on at a stadium like this. Ibrahim in a bit of a clash there with David Lopez. Mallorca do very well to get the ball back. Now here's David Lopez. Back to Leo Roman. Martin Valgent in the Leo Roman. Mallorca keeping hold of it. David Lopez tries playing the long ball into Muriqi. Pablo Maffeo. And it goes all the way back to Tanaglia. Tanaglia into Sivera. Pablo Torre brings it down with a lovely touch. Samu Costa into Omar Mascarell. Sergi Darder. They're doing well here, Mallorca, to keep hold of this ball. And it goes all the way back to Leo Roman in the end. Now that they've got their first, Mallorca, the question is, are they just going to try and keep hold of that ball, not rush forward until the first half? Or are they going to go for another? David Lopez with the long ball, looking for Giambirigili. Here's Alenya. Alenya drives forward. And the foul committed in the end by Pablo Maffeo. So now potentially a dangerous set-piece play for Alavés. You can see Pablo Maffeo. He comes in from the back. It is a free kick. There's not an awful lot on it. And he's not going to receive the yellow card. But either way, a dangerous set-piece play now for Alavés. "24 minutes in here now. And as I mentioned earlier, Alavés have scored 11 goals in their last 5. And if Mallorca can just hold on to the lead before the end of the first half, it would be huge for them. And shout out to my boy Simo, who's watching the stream right now. So now Johan Mojica clears that. And Alavés still in possession. It's going to be a throw-in for Alavés again. And I just think what they need to do, Alavés, is try and chase for that first one before the end of the first half. And if they can't get it, then I think there'll be problems for them in the second one. Now Alenya attempts the long shot. Pablo Torre into Giambirigili. Muriqi playing it into Pablo Torre, who can chase that one down. He gets taken down on the counter-attack. And it's going to be a yellow card now. The first yellow card is handed out in the first 25 minutes. And he does well, Pablo Torre, to get there on time. And you just knew that was going to happen. I think Otto knew what he was doing there. He picks up the yellow card in the first 25 minutes. And now a dangerous set-piece play for Mallorca. It's going to be Sergi Darder to put in the cross. And I think this season, Mallorca haven't been so fortunate when it comes to set-piece plays. You know, last season they were one of the stronger sides at taking corners and set-piece plays, but this season it's not been there for them. So now Sergi Darder plays into Jan Virgili, who can get the shot off. The rebound falls for Alavés, and Sivera picks it up. And he takes the goal kick quickly there, Sivera. Maffeo keeps it in play. Here's Samu Costa driving forward. Samu Costa into Sergi Darder. Pablo Torre gets the free kick in the end. He does well, Pablo Torre. And I think he's very, very good at just making players tackle him, luring players in to get the foul. He does that so well every time. Now Samu Costa giving away the free kick. He doesn't agree with the referee, but I don't think that'll matter too much. Taking a look at the replay there, I don't think there was an awful lot on that from Samu Costa to be given as a free kick. Now Pablo Maffeo clearing up forward. Alavés still in possession. They could have a through ball. Here's Ibrahim. Omar Mascaré gets there on time with a very important tackle. What a challenge that was there from him. And he's being so important in this matchup. Playing as a center defensive mid, but showing up in every occasion almost as a center back. It's going to be a corner now for Alavés. Their third corner of the matchup. Looking for Ibrahim. Here's Perez, who managed to bring it down. And now a free kick for Perez. As Johan Mojica just steps on his foot by the looks of it. Another dangerous set-piece play for Alavés. And as the minutes go by, it just looks like they're getting a step closer over time. They really need to watch out here, Mallorca. And Mallorca are actually winless in their last 5 away matches. Also scoring just 4 goals. They haven't been the strongest side when it comes to playing away from home this season. And what a shot is there, and a big save by Leo Roman. A brilliant bicycle kick by Denaglia. What a shot that was there from him. A big save there from Leo Roman. And it's going to be a corner for Alavés. Poor cross there, and it falls right to Pablo Torre. Alavés somehow managed to get the ball back there. They can still cause some damage on the attack. Both of these teams fighting to get that ball back. Here's Samu Costa. He could keep it in play. Samu Costa plays it up forward. And they don't take any chances there, Mallorca, as they play it all the way back to Sivera. Now Alavés driving forward. Here's Ibrahim. Good tackle there by Maffeo. And a free kick now for Pablo Maffeo. He did very well to get the ball back. You can just see the fouls committed there. Here's a look at the shot again from Tenaglia. What a bicycle kick that is. Absolutely brilliant from him. It's an important save by Leo Roman and a really big effort from Alavés. And I just think in this first half they're getting closer and closer every time. Mallorca have just seemed to drop the intensity a little bit ever since scoring their first. Now Leo Roman plays it into Vedam Muriqi. They can't keep hold of it. Mallorca managed to bring it down. Here's Mojica into Sergi Darder. Samu Costa. Pablo Torre. What can they do from here? Here's Pablo Torre. 32 minutes in here now. Not long left to go before the end of the first half, and Mallorca give it away in a poor position. Here's Ibrahim. He can play it into Rebac. And Pablo Maffeo gets the throw in for Mallorca. Forces the turnover. And defensively, Mallorca have been very solid so far in this first half. He does very well, Maffeo. Samu Costa losing it again in a very dangerous position in the midfield. And Rebac can take the shot on himself. And Leo Roman gets down on time, but he almost lets it slip. You can see it's a difficult save. It has a bit of bounce on it. Now here's Pablo Torre. Out wide to Gianvirgili. Gianvirgili tries playing it into Vedam Muriqi. But in the end, nothing comes from that. And now Alavés can break on the counter-attack. What can they do from here? Playing the through ball into Ibrahim. And Ibrahim just couldn't make the most of that chance. Just tries putting in the low cross. Doesn't work out for him. Did well, Alenya, to drive forward. Here's a look at the first goal from Gianvirgili. What a shot that is. Just on the edge of the box, curls it into that top right corner. A brilliant goal. It really, really is. So now Blanco. Blanco into Alenya. Alenya back to Otto. Here's Perez. Alavés puts in the cross and it's gone into the hands of Leo Roman. So no danger from that chance. We're just about to approach the 35th minute. There's just 10 minutes left to go. And at the minute, Real Mallorca in the lead. So now the ball goes back to Sivera. Sivera plays the long ball and Gianvirgili forces the turnover. And now Mallorca have a throw-in. Here's Samu Costa. Omar Mascarell, back to Samu Costa. David Lopez. And ever since the first goal from Mallorca, I think they've just been happy to sit back and just keep hold of the possession. They've not seemed to be attacking as much as before they were in the lead. I just think they want to go into the second half leading. So maybe they don't want to first force any turnovers. Martin Valgent into David Lopez. Pablo Maffeo. He can drive forward now. Pablo Maffeo. And a dangerous tackle there from the referee, who awards the spot. Pablo Maffeo, he does well to skip past his man. You can just see, I mean, the free kick is intentional from Moto. I think he should have been booked. Now Pablo Torre in possession into David Lopez. Martin Valgent. You can see Pablo Torre sitting in a deep position, almost as he was playing as a centre defensive mid. It's not something we usually see. He's usually playing more up front, but I think when Sergi Darder is there, Pablo Torre sits back a bit more and just allows Sergi Darder to go up and play a bit more offensively. So now the free kick awarded to Mallorca. And they decide to play it short. Here's Omar Mascarell. Samu Costa. Back to Martin Valgent. Samu Costa again. Leo Roman. They're doing well at holding the ball here, Mallorca. Here's Jan Virgili chasing it down. Nothing comes from that. Now Alavés are in possession. What can they make from this? Playing it down this right-hand side. And I think that's something we've seen quite often for Alavés. Constantly creating danger down the right wing. Otto playing it into Perez. Alavés in Mallorca's half of the pitch. Trying to drive forward. Here's Perez again. He can put in the cross. It's cleared by Martin Valgent. Alavés pick up the ball again. Johan Mojica with the clearance. And now a throw-in for Alavés. Pablo Torre not happy. And he's gone down on the ground here. Pablo Torre. There was the foul by Tenaglia. You can see he's not happy with him. Pablo Torre's gone down on the ground here and he looks quite hurt. And to be fair, I don't think there's an awful lot on it to be awarded as a free kick from Tenaglia. But it's just because the follow free, Pablo Torre falls and just hits against the wall. He is back up on his feet, and by the looks of it, he will be okay. The referee just says to the manager there that that time will be added on. And his gesture says it's 1 minute added on. So 39 minutes in here now. And Alavés still chasing for that equalizer. It's going to be a corner now for Alavés. And I think in this first half, they've not had much going for them, Alavés. They've been doing well at driving forward, but they've not really had any huge chances. An offside position awarded. So now Mallorca will get the free kick. It's a really, really poor offside given there. You can't be giving away an offside position from a corner. I think they've been poor, Alavés, in this first half. They've not really had much going for them. The build-up play and offensively, they've just not looked dangerous enough. So now down the right-hand side. What can they make from this? They're going to switch it all the way out to the left into Rebak. Here's Rebak up against Maffeo. Rebak's going to cut in. He cuts in again. He's doing well here, Rebak. But in the end, he just keeps the ball for a bit too long. Here's Vedamuriki. A throw in for Mallorca. It's a good tackle there from Tenaglia. He's been playing well so far in this matchup, Tenaglia. Defensively and offensively, he pushes up quite a lot. Vedamuriki heads on forward into Gianvirgili. Here's Samu Costa. Back into Gianvirgili. He does very well. But he just leaves the ball behind as he tries to sprint forward. Pablo Torre into Pablo Maffeo. Maffeo tries playing the through ball into Gianvirgili. It's a good ball from him, but Gianvirgili just couldn't find his way through. Now, Tenaglia. Tenaglia playing it into Parada. And the touch in the end comes from Martin Valgent. So it's going to be another corner for Alavés. And they've had quite the amount of corners so far in this first half. But they've not been able to convert from any of them. They've had 5 corners in the first half. Mallorca have only managed to get 1. Here's Rebak still in possession. He plays out to Otto. Otto's going to attempt the long shot. But he sends it far, far wide over that crossbar. So now a goal kick for Leo Roman. Just taking a look again at the replay from the first goal. It's a brilliant goal, it really is, and it's a difficult technique from Gianvirgili to just curl it into that top right corner from there. He does very well. So now Alenia bringing it down, Sergi Derder. In the end it goes wide. Here's Ibanez. Ibanez plays it back to Perez. Good tackle there from Pablo Torre. Vedamuriki into Gianvirgili. Now Mallorca can break on the counter-attack. Here they come. Here's Vedamuriki on the right-hand side. And the pass from Gianvirgili goes a bit wide. Here's Maffeo into Sergi Derder. Omar Mascarell. Back to Maffeo. Vedamuriki. Here's Pablo Torre. And Pablo Torre tries playing the long ball into Vedamuriki. It's a good effort. He almost finds him. But I just think Parada did enough there to get in the way of Vedamuriki and not allow him to bring it down. So now Alavés in possession. Here's Rebak. Rebak into Alenia. Alenia out wide to Parada. And now we're in the 45th minute and there's going to be 3 minutes added on of extra time. All Mallorca need to do is hold on for that remaining of the time. 3 minutes until the end of the first half. There's a good cross there from Perez, and it's going to be a corner for Alavés. He did well, David Lopez, to get his head on it. So now the corner to be whipped in from Alavés. Can they make anything from it? It's cleared by Mallorca. Here's Aleña. Aleña out wide to Rebac. Here's Rebac. He's going to cut in. He puts in the low cross. And it's cleared by Pablo Maffeo. Now Rebac to take the throw in. And it's very well defended there from Pablo Torre and David Lopez. Every time they get the ball back, Mallorca, they just seem to give it back to Alavés. And now the ball can fall to Perez, who gets the shot off. The shot was blocked. Mojica's going to chase it down. He plays it into Sergi Darder. Now Mallorca can break forward. Here's Jan Virgili. Jan Virgili, he's going to cut into his right. He tries passing into Vedan Muriqi. And in the end, the pass was cut out. It was another dangerous chance for Mallorca. And now Alavés in Mallorca's half of the pitch again. Here's Perez. The pass from him goes all the way to Leo Roman, and he's going to pick it up with his hands. And a brilliant first half so far from Mallorca. They really have been impressive. So the long ball from Leo Roman. Samu Costa can play it into Jan Virgili. And almost another dangerous chance for Mallorca. Here's David Lopez, who plays it back to Leo Roman. David Lopez again. And the referee blows his whistle for the end of the first half. And Real Mallorca in the lead here at the Estadio Mendizorroza. Jan Virgili with the only goal of the matchup. It's a brilliant goal from him. And he helps push the team on forward. So Real Mallorca lead 1-0 here at the break. And all thanks to a brilliant goal from Jan Virgili. I think Real Mallorca really have been impressive in this first half. Offensively, they pushed forward. I think at the beginning, it was looking very, very equal from both sides. None of them really had any huge chances. Mallorca managed to get a goal pretty much from one or two chances just out of nowhere. Realistically, you know, Pablo Torre, he's been helping a lot to push forward to get that first goal. I think Jan Virgili creates the chance for Mallorca. He does it all on his own along the sides of Pablo Torre. And then I think ever since they got the first goal, they've not really pushed forward a lot. They've just held their own defensively, and they've gone into the break leading, which I think is what they wanted. So we're going to go on a quick break, and we'll be back very shortly for the second half. Do not go anywhere, because we still have plenty to see in this second half, and anything could happen at this stage. We'll be back very, very shortly. And we are back for the half here at the Estadio Mendizorroza, where currently Real Mallorca are in the lead 1-0 with Gianbirigili scoring the own goal. A beautiful goal for him in this matchup, but there's still a huge second half to come up, and now we have the Real Mallorca players walking out of the tunnel into the pitch, and the Alavés players already on their side, ready to go. Of course, we've had a very interesting first half. I think Mallorca held their own in this first half. Before they scored the first goal, I think they were doing all right. They were going forward, but again, I would argue it was equal from both sides. I think Mallorca managed to get the goal thanks to a lovely build-up play from Pablo Torre and a beautiful self-goal created from Gianbirigili. And then I think from then onwards, Mallorca just defended well. They held their own. And Alavés going forward, they're doing all right, but they haven't created much chances. They haven't really done enough, and I think they'll need to do more. So now the referee's blown for the start of the second half, and we are on the way here. I think Mallorca in this second half need to push up maybe a bit more forward. I think they're sitting a bit too comfortably at the back ever since they got that first. And I think when a team gets a goal and they start to just defend and sit back, I think they give too much room for the other team to attack forward. And as we know, Alavés scoring goals this season have been strong. I mean, 11 goals in the last 5 matches. They know how to score goals, so Mallorca still have to watch out. Here's Perez, who puts in the low cross. And luckily into the hands of Leo Roman, but already a big chance for Alavés in the first minute of the second half. And I just think Mallorca need to go for another. There's been no changes made so far going into the second half. Of course, the only change that was made was the injury in the first 2 minutes of the match from Lucas Boye, and Ibrahim replaced him. But apart from that, no changes have been made so far. So now Leo Roman plays the long ball, looking for Vedat Muriqi. But in the end, Tenaglia brings it down. Muriqi manages to get the ball back. Muriqi falls into Samu Costa. But in the end, the free kick given away by Vedat Muriqi. So a foul for Alavés. You can just see, puts his hand on his waist, forces him down there. It's a good decision by the referee. And I think the first half, it was quiet. Apart from the goal scored by Gianbirigili, it was awfully quiet. I think I would have expected a bit more from Alavés. I think Mallorca have done alright, but I think Alavés should be doing better considering the fact that they're playing at home. That at home, they've proved to score a lot of goals. They've been strong. And I think they've not proved that so far in this matchup. Here's Rebak. Rebak can cut in. Cuts in again. He attempts the shot. A good effort there from Rebak. A very powerful shot looking for that first post. And it's going to be a corner. So now Alavés taking the corner quickly. Pablo Torre clears it. And a throw-in for Alavés. They take it quickly. And Alavés really, really rushing to get that equalizer. Pablo Torre clearing it. Samu Costa kicks it up. Alavés managed to bring it down, and they're still in possession here. It's Perez. Perez plays into Ibrahim. Ibrahim cuts in, plays into Ibanez. Ibanez into Otto. Here's Ibanez. He's going to try and put in the cross. It's cleared by Samu Costa. And I think the problem is every time Mallorca get a clearance, it just falls right back to Alavés and they go again and again and again. And Mallorca just can't seem to break out. They can't seem to escape. So now here's Otto. Otto into Ibrahim. Nothing comes from that, and the ball goes all the way back to Leo Roman. Now good ball there from Vidal Muriqui to play it into Jan Virgili, who can chase it down. And he does very well, but in the end it's a free kick for Alavés as the referee claims that Jan Virgili just maybe put in a bit too much there on Parada, and quite surprised with that decision there from the referee. I don't think there was a lot on that. But either way, Alavés take the free kick and they can push up forward once again. Mojica tries clearing it. Perez manages to bring it down. Perez taking down Omar Mascarell. The free kick wasn't awarded. The play continues for Mallorca. Mojica playing a lovely ball into Jan Virgili. He does get his head on it. But in the end, a free kick. I just think Jan Virgili maybe hit him with his elbow. I'm not quite sure. There it is there. So Alavés once again in possession, and it's not been a very good start for Mallorca in the second half. Alavés have looked far like the better side. Here they come once more. Sergi Derder with the clearance. Here's Otto. Mojica into Pablo Torre. Here's Sergi Derder. Back to Pablo Torre. They do well there, Pablo Torre and Sergi Derder. Good little build-up play. Here's Mojica. Mojica into Martin Valgent. David Lopez. Now Leo Roman. Samu Costa. Now Mallorca can drive forward. Here comes Samu Costa with plenty of space. Plays it into Maffeo. Maffeo cuts in. Back to Samu Costa. Omar Mascarell. Mallorca looking for a way forward, and finally, with a bit of the possession in the second half, they decide to take it all the way back to Leo Roman. He's going to play the long ball, and it goes all the way to Sivera. They just don't look very good so far in the second half. I'll tell you what, they've not managed to get a ball an awful lot, and when they do get it, they just can't find a way forward. It's not been a very positive second half for Mallorca so far. So now, Tenaglia playing it forward. Lovely little skill there from Martinez. It's going to be a throw-in for Alavés in the end, but he does well. And I'm just wondering, there he is there, Martin De Michelis. Is he getting a bit worried that the result might slip from them? 53 minutes in, there's still quite a while to go for the second half to end. But Mallorca don't look the sharpest. Here comes Otto driving forward with all the room in the world. Samu Costa commits the free kick. And it's a dangerous free kick given away by Samu Costa. And it's really, really poor defensive work from Mallorca. I mean, just look at Otto. Just drives and drives and drives. No one stops him. It's really, really poor. And now Alavés have a free kick in a dangerous position. No yellow card for Samu Costa, luckily. So now it's going to be a free kick for Alavés. Leo Roman gets the wall ready. This could be very, very dangerous. It's not too far out. I think he's going to attempt a shot. By the looks of it, it's Martinez who's stepping up to take it. He takes a shot and it's blocked by the wall. Alavés still in possession. They try putting in the cross. The cross was blocked by Pablo Torre. Here's Rebak still in possession. Rebak try putting in the cross again. It's going to be a corner for Alavés. Mallorca holding on and defending very well, but I think Alavés just have too much of the ball. Another corner for Alavés, their 8th corner of the matchup. And it's gone into the back of the net for Alavés. It's Martinez who's gotten the equalizer from the corner. And Martinez, with his head, puts it into the back of the net. And I mean, not surprised whatsoever. I can't say we didn't see it coming. Alavés were just constantly attacking and attacking. You just knew it was going to happen for Alavés eventually. It's David Lopez. He just gives his man far too much room. It's a brilliant header from Martinez. It really is. And now Alavés has gotten the equalizer. And again, you just can't say you didn't see it coming. It's just been poor from Mallorca. And Alavés get another corner there as Leo Roman comes out to try and catch it, but the ball's just going too fast. And now Alavés with another corner. Could they make it 2? Mallorca started off the first half very well, but in the second half, it has been poor. Ibanez does get on the edge of it, but it goes over the crossbar. And I think at this point, even a draw would be a good result for Mallorca. And I mean, I did say it wasn't going to be an easy match out here today. It is a difficult opponent at a difficult stadium. But I mean, Mallorca, they did get the lead. It should have been better, this performance so far. So now, Mallorca back in possession. Can they make something from this? Here comes Samu Costa. Out wide to Sergi Derded, but in the end the referee stops the play as Martinez is down on the ground. The referee goes over. It looks like someone is going to be receiving a yellow card, and it's going to be Martin Valgent who picks up a yellow card. Not for committing a foul, but for getting in a bit of an altercation with one of the Alavés players. We'll take a look at what happened. There's the foul there. And now the play's going to continue. And Mallorca keep the ball. So playing a long ball, looking for someone to bring it down. Here's Samu Costa, he plays into Maffeo. Omar Mascarell playing the long ball, looking for Samu Costa. They do manage to get a throw in here, Mallorca. 60 minutes in here now. Alavés 1. Real Mallorca 1. At the minute, nothing separating these two sides. Pablo Maffeo with the throw-in. By the looks of it, he's going to put it into the box. He takes the throw-in. Muriqi heads it on forward. It falls to Sergi Darder, who attempts the shot. It was a good effort there from Sergi Darder. He was on target, but just not enough power. And Sivera tries playing the long ball into Martinez. They end up giving away a throw-in. And now could Mallorca get a bit of the rhythm back? Could they start attacking a bit more here? Pushing forward. That's what they need to do. Here's Martin Valgent. Plays the long ball into Muriqi. Here's Pablo Torre driving forward. He plays out wide to Mojica. Mojica's going to put in the cross. And it goes flying over everyone. And a throw-in given away now for Alavés. Alavés give the ball away really, really poorly. A throw-in for Alavés. And now Mallorca slowly starting to get back into this one. So now Alavés give the ball right back to Mallorca. Here's Gianvirgili. What can he do from here? Gianvirgili. He's surrounded by Alavés players. He gets away with it in the end. Sergi Darder looking for Muriqi. And I've got to say, there's not much that Muriqi can do with that cross there. He's not got an angle on it, and even if he did get his head on it, just wouldn't have enough power. So now Alavés to take the goal kick. Samu Costa heads it forward. Alavés play it back to Sivera. Now Sivera in possession. The ball goes all the way back to Leo Roman. He's going to kick it up forward. Lovely pass from him into Pablo Torre. Pablo Torre trying to play the long ball down to Gianvirgili. There's just too much power on that pass from Pablo Torre. Now Alavés back in possession. Muriqi picks it up. Now a throw-in for Alavés, and this match is starting to get very interesting as both of these sides are pushing forward. There's going to be a substitution for Alavés. Coming off is Aleña, and replacing him is going to be Denis. So that is the first substitution made, well, technically the second one for Alavés. Now Leo Roman into David Lopez, Samu Costa, Omar Mascarell. And Real Mallorca have started to keep the ball quite a lot in these last 5 to 10 minutes. It's starting to look a lot more positive for them now. They just looked like they were completely out of it about 10 minutes ago. And now they're starting to get back in it. Now here's Sivera. Sivera plays the long ball. And the touch from Martinez is overturned and he gives away a throw-in to Mallorca. Now Mallorca try and play it forward. Here come Alavés. Here's Martinez trying to play into Ibrahim. It's well defended in the end by Mallorca. Here's Mojica. Mojica gets the free kick. Tries playing the long ball and he does into Giambirigili. But Giambirigili there just gets outstrengthed by Tenaglia. It was a good effort from Mojica, a good pass. Now Sivera. Here's Alavés in possession. It's a good ball here. Here comes Parada driving forward. Parada plays out wide into Perez. Perez decides to put in the cross. And the cross goes far too wide for Alavés. And a throw-in for Mallorca. 65 minutes in here now. Still no substitutions made for Real Mallorca. And I think some of these players are going to start to feel the fatigue very soon. Omar Mascaré making the challenge. Ibanez keeps hold of it. He plays it out wide to Otto. Otto into Perez. Back to Otto, but he just seems to slip. Giambirigili trying to get the ball back. Alavés still in possession. Can they hold on? Here's Blanco. Out wide to Otto. Otto into Perez. Lovely little ball here into Perez. He cuts in. Here's Perez. Here's Alavés. He plays it short. Getting the shot off. It's blocked. A huge chance there for Alavés. And a huge chance for Blanco to put his team into the lead. What a chance that was there. He did very, very well, Perez, to take on Johan Mojica. He cuts in. He puts in the little short pass instead of taking the shot on himself. He did brilliantly. Here's Parada. Reback. Pablo Maffeo makes the tackle. It's going to be a throw-in for Alavés. Things are starting to get a bit heated in this matchup. 1-1, one goal each. Nothing separates either of these two sides at the minute. Here's Otto. Otto into Blanco. A lovely ball again into Perez. He can put in the low cross. He gets the shot off. And the deflection from David Lopez goes into the back of the net. Alavés lead 2-1 now. The deflection from David Lopez finds itself into the way, into the back of the net. There's nothing Leo Roman can do. And you've got to say, the danger that Perez was creating on that right-hand side. Look at the ball there from Martinez into Perez. These two linking up have been brilliant. And then the shots from Martinez. It hits David Lopez. And the ball just slowly finds itself into the back of the net. It's really, really unfortunate for David Lopez. He gets the block, but it just goes through his legs. It's a really unfortunate goal, but now Alavés lead. It's Martinez who's gotten the second. I'm not sure if it's a deflection, if it's going to count as an own goal, or if the goal is going to count for Martinez. But either way, it's him who's got or provoked the 2 goals for Alavés. And now they lead 2-1 here at the Estadio Mendio Zorroza. And that's 11 goals for him this season now. So now Johan Mojica playing into Giambirigili. Giambirigili does find a way through, but can't make anything from it in the end. And it's going to be a corner for Alavés. Giambirigili not happy, claiming he's getting fouled. There was a bit of a pullback, but I just don't think there's enough on it. Also, a substitution was made there for Mallorca. Pablo Torre came off, and replacing him was Manu Morlanes. So now Sergi Darder puts in the cross, and Sivera leaps up and gets his hands on it. There was a foul committed there, I believe, by Vidal Muriqui on Blanco. Not quite sure what happened. But either way, the foul was committed. He's on the ground. He's got his hands on his head there, Blanco. Take a look at the replay here. That's the second goal from the corner. Sorry, that's the first goal from the corner. It is a brilliant header, but David Lopez has to be doing better to get on his man. And then I think the second goal, it is a bit unfortunate with the rebound, but they were given too much space for Martinez and Perez linking up constantly on that right-hand side. You just knew it was going to come eventually. And now the play is still not being continued, as we're still waiting to see what's happened. And it's all gone wrong for Real Mallorca in this one. It really, really is a shame to have given away the result for Mallorca, as they were in the lead and they've given it away. So now the play is going to continue, and Sivera takes the goal kick. There's still about 17 minutes left in this one. Still time for Mallorca to get an equalizer. But at the minute, Alavés are looking like the stronger side. And Blanco comes back onto the pitch. And by the looks of it, he will continue playing in this matchup. Alavés with the throw-in. It's taken quickly. Here's Leo Roman. Leo Roman into Omar Mascarell. Omar Mascarell into David Lopez. He's going to play the long ball, but nothing comes from that. And given far too much space to drive forward there, Parada. He plays it into Perez. But I mean, that's what I was talking about earlier. These Alavés players just have far too much room to drive forward. Mallorca can't be allowing that. So now Alavés still in possession. Here's Otto. Otto into Perez. The free kick is given away as Johan Mojica takes down Perez. And he does foul him there, Johan Mojica. He needs to be careful or he could pick up a yellow card on the next one. Here's a look at the second goal. And I mean, it really is unfortunate because the shot is going right at Leo Roman. The block from David Lopez, it just needs to be better. It goes under his legs. It hits his thigh. It's just so unlucky, but you can't say you didn't see it coming because I think Alavés were just constantly attacking down that right-hand side. You knew one was going to come eventually. I think Mallorca just haven't been good enough. Here's Vedam Muriqi. He gets taken down, and it's going to be a yellow card for breaking the counter-attack. The yellow card is awarded to Parada. You can just see, obviously, intentionally takes him down to stop the counter-attack. Now the play is back in possession. Here's Samu Costa. He plays into Manu Morlanes. Manu Morlanes to Sergi Darder. Manu Morlanes again. Into Jan Virgili. Here's Mojica. He's going to try and put in the cross. It's cleared. Blanco deals with the danger, but he gives away a corner. So now a set-piece play for Mallorca. 14 minutes left to go. Can they find the equalizer? Sergi Darder puts in the cross. It's cleared by Alavés. Falls to Johan Mojica. Maffeo's going to try and play the long ball to find Vedam Muriqi. But in the end, Vedam Muriqi was stopped. And it's going to be a goal kick for Alavés. And you've got to say the second half has been very, very disappointing for Mallorca. I've got to say Alavés in the second half have really turned it up. And they've really showed up. They've done very well to take the lead, to get the 2 goals. And they've just been very, very intense in this second half. So here's Perez up against Mojica. What can he do from here, Perez? He puts in the cross. But it goes into the hands of Leo Roman. Now Mallorca take it quickly. Here's Sergi Darder. He plays it into Manu Morlanes. Mallorca looking for options to take it forward. Manu Morlanes into Jan Virgili. Jan Virgili into Samu Costa. Samu Costa plays into Muriqi. It falls to Manu Morlanes. Manu Morlanes with a chance. He gets the shot off, it's blocked. And almost a huge chance there for Mallorca to get back into this one. And a free kick now for Mallorca. As Manu Morlanes gets taken down. And how well is he done in that sequence? He fights to get the ball back. He had a huge chance. He just couldn't get the shot off. There it is there. He just needs to be hitting that first time, I think. He needs to be making the most of that, but he does well to get back. And he gets a dangerous free kick for their side now. Can Mallorca get anything from this? But until the free kick is taken. Martinez has gone down on the ground. I don't know if he'll be able to continue or not. He's shaking his head, saying no. And I don't know if that means no, I can't continue, or no, I don't want to come off. But either way, the free kick for Mallorca, stepping up to take it, is Gianvirgili and Samu Costa. Not usually two players we'd see take a free kick. A big round of applause in the Alavés stadium for Martinez, the goal scorer for two of the goals for Alavés. So now there's going to be a substitution made for Mallorca also, and one for Alavés. Coming off is going to be Martinez. He, by the looks of it, can't continue. Replacing him is going to be Guridi. And coming on for Mallorca is going to be Abdon Prats. Alavés decide to make another substitution here, so there's going to be two for Alavés, not just one. They just replaced the striker Martinez, the goal scorer, and now they're also replacing Perez, the number 7, and replacing him is going to be Calebe. And I'll tell you what, those two players that just came off, Perez and Martinez, have been, for me, the two main stars for Alavés today. They were really, really impressive, both of those players. And a third substitution made also for Alavés now. So they've made a total of 3 substitutions. Sergi Darder comes off. Replacing him is Abdon Prats. And now the free kick is finally going to be taken. And in the end, it's Mojica and Gianvirgili who both step up to take it. If I had to guess, it's going to be Mojica who's going to take it. And in the end, it's Gianvirgili. And he wasn't too far off target. He gets a decent hit on it. He just looks for that first post. It's not too far off at all. It's a good effort from Gianvirgili. And in the end, it's actually a corner. So Mallorca are going to have a corner now in the 82nd minute. Gianvirgili takes the corner. Ibrahim clearing it. It falls all the way to Maffeo. Pablo Maffeo driving forward. It falls to Martin Valgent. The ball is all over the place. In the end, Alavés walk away with it. And I can imagine there's going to be a decent amount of added time added on. Good build-up play here from Alavés. Now, what can they make from this? Alavés in possession. 83 minutes in here now. Here's Calebe playing it into Ibrahim. Trying to play the long ball. But in the end, nothing comes from it. By the looks of it, it's going to be a goal kick. It's taken quickly by Mallorca. And now they're back in possession. Here's Manu Morlanes into Samu Costa. Martin Valgent. Samu Costa plays out wide to Maffeo. Maffeo into David Lopez. Samu Costa trying to play into Vedan Muriqi, but the pass was cut out. A dangerous free kick there by Samu Costa. The play's going to continue as Alavés can drive forward. There's a chance here now for Alavés. Deciding to cut in, attempting the shot. It's hit Davi Lopez. And the play stops. It just hit Davi Lopez right in the stomach by the looks of it. The shot from Denis Suarez. He does well, Denis Suarez, to cut in. Take it on his right. And now there's going to be 2 substitutions made for Mallorca. Coming on is Mateo Jaume. He replaces Johan Mojica. And also coming on is going to be Toni Lato for Pablo Maffeo. So those are the 2 substitutions made for Mallorca. 1 left back and 1 right back. And now the play continues again, 85 minutes in. And Mallorca still chasing for that equalizer. And the ball falls to Vedan Muriqi, who can almost get a touch on it. Luckily, Sivera got to the ball first. It was a very, very dangerous back pass there from Tenaglia. Vedan Muriqi almost gets there. Sivera just gets there first. So now the ball is dropped by the referee and Sivera takes the goal kick. Here's Martin Valgens back to Leo Roman. Mallorca play it quickly. There's not long left to go now. Just 3 minutes and a half plus whatever's added on of extra time. Davi Lopez out wide to Martin Valgens. So now here come Mallorca trying to put in the cross, looking for Muriqi. And in the end, the cross goes wide and a goal kick for Alavés. And the spirits don't look high on that bench for Real Mallorca. You can see how disappointed they look. The manager, Martin De Michelis, obviously not looking happy with his team, giving away the lead in the second half. It has been a really poor matchup out there today from Mallorca. It's not gone well for them. They're still only just 1 goal behind. They still have time to get the equalizer, but they don't have long. And at the minute, it's not been looking very positive. So now, here comes Martin Valgens, playing it into Toni Lato. Back to Valgens. Manu Morlanes. Here's Mallorca. Looking for a way through. It's Omar Mascarell. Martin Valgens out wide to Toni Lato. He can put in the cross. He cuts in. Toni Lato puts in the cross. And it's cleared by Alavés. He did well, Toni Lato, to cut in. But then just the cross there wasn't exactly good enough. Martin Valgent into Omar Mascarell. Now Omar Mascarell plays the long ball into Abdon Prats. He had a chance there, Abdon Prats, to bring it down, but he just couldn't get his touch how he would like to. And now we're just about to approach the 90th minute marker. And we'll see if Mallorca can try and get one back. But again, at the minute, it's just not looking promising for them. They're not really having any chances to break forward. And they just don't look very confident. Martin Valgent plays it into David Lopez. David Lopez out wide. To Mateu Jaume. There's going to be 6 minutes added on of extra time. So still a decent amount of minutes for Mallorca to try and get one back. Now a throw-in for Alavés, as the referee says that Gianvirgili was the last one to get a touch on it. We'll take a look. And a really, really poor decision from the referee there. And I mean, I'm not quite sure how he's given a throw-in to Alavés there when it quite clearly comes off a Reback. Really poor decision there from the referee. Needs to be seeing that one better. And he didn't just give a throw-in, he gave a free kick in the end. So now Alavés taking their time. They decide to play it up forward. Mallorca with the clearance. It's just not quite good enough. It falls to Ibrahim. Martin Valgent into Samu Costa. Mallorca trying to break forward. They're running out of time. Mateu Jaume into David Lopez. Alavés bring it down, and now they're in hold of the ball. They play it all the way back to Sivera. And David Lopez gives the ball right to Blanco. Alavés holding possession, wasting all the time they can. And the referee ends up blowing the whistle, so it's going to be a free kick for Alavés. And one step closer for them to that full-time whistle and to get those 3 points. It really is a huge loss out here today for Mallorca. As if Alavés get the victory out here today, they will overtake Mallorca on the table. So it really, really is a poor loss. Now Manu Morlanes clears the ball up forward. Blanco. The pass from Blanco. Nothing comes from it. It's a free kick now from Mallorca, and they have 3 minutes before the 96th. They have to push up forward now or never. David Lopez plays the ball long, but there's no one there for Mallorca. You'd think that they'd push up forward a bit more. Leo Roman into Omar Mascarell. Now Mallorca needs to push everyone up. Here's Tony Lato into Gianvirgili. Gianvirgili plays it into Tony Lato. Tony Lato puts in the cross. And nothing comes from the cross for Mallorca. Martin Valgent brings it down. Samu Costa, he's going to get the free kick. And surprisingly, the referee has actually awarded the free kick to Alavés. And the referee, I mean, how is this possible? The referee awards the free kick to Alavés when Samu Costa was the one who got tackled. I really think the referee has been poor out there today. Wrong decisions and bad ones. It's just not been good enough, the referee. I think he really has been poor. And I mean, it's a crucial free kick for Mallorca. There's 1 minute left to go, and he's awarded it to Alavés. Now, Toni Lato. It's going to be a throw-in for Mallorca. There's only 1 minute left now. And it just doesn't look so promising. You can see the look on Martins de Micheli's face, and he's not happy. So now, taking the throw-in. Leo Roman picks up the ball. He tells his team to go up forward. There's 10 seconds left to go. Another throw-in now for Mallorca. It's Toni Lato. He plays it into Samu Costa. Samu Costa tries putting in the cross, but it was blocked. Another throw-in for Mallorca. Mateo Jaume, by the looks of it, he's going to throw it into that penalty area box. Although he is quite far. It's cleared by Alavés. Mallorca give away a throw-in. A throw-in for Alavés. And any second now, the referee's going to blow for the full-time whistle. And he does so. That is the full-time whistle here at the Estadio de Mendizorroza. And Alavés celebrate those 3 points like a final. They celebrate those 3 points like if they just won the league, because how important was that match for them on the table. They were in the relegation zone at 18th place, and with those 3 points they've just crawled out all the way to 15th, and they've overtaken Mallorca. And with that done, Mallorca drop to 16th place with 35 points. Alavés go up to 15th with 36 points. And the remaining of the matches yet to be played, which is also bad news for Mallorca. Just behind them is Elche, Sevilla, Levante. Elche on 35 points, Sevilla on 34, Elche on 32. If all of those win, then Mallorca could potentially go all the way down to 19th place. A huge loss for Mallorca and a huge victory for Alavés. And you can just see how upset those Mallorca fans are with their team. They were in the lead in the first half, Mallorca. They've gone into the second half and they've conceded 2 goals. And at this stage of the league, Mallorca can't afford to be giving away matches like that. They really can't. And who knows, one more of those and it could mean their official relegation if they don't watch out. So just look at the looks on those Mallorca fans. How disappointed do they look? How disappointed must Mallorca be? And the goal scorer, Jambe Gili for Mallorca, you can imagine how upset he must be not being able to get the victory for his side, despite scoring a beautiful goal, his second goal for Mallorca. But it doesn't come at any cost. So a really, really disappointing result out there today for Mallorca. You know, there really is a lot to talk about. But again, on the table, it's really bad news for Mallorca. It puts them at the minute at 16th place, but still plenty of matches to play. Still a lot to play for. 16th place, and if the teams below them win, then they drop. And they drop quite heavily as they are a game ahead. So who knows what this is going to mean for Mallorca. It will just depend on the others, but it's really, really not good news for them. And I mean, talking about this matchup, you know, overall team performance was really poor from Mallorca out there today. The first half, offensively, they didn't have much at all. But they at least created one or two chances, and it was enough to get the goal, which realistically is all that matters. They did good. They did decent in the first half. Again, there was not much going on for them, but there was also not much going on for Alavés in the first half either. It was an equal first half. Mallorca did enough to get the first goal, and they were defending well. They were holding on. But that second half seriously was poor from Mallorca. And I mean, they just gave Alavés far too much room to drive forward. Alavés were constantly dominating. You know, they had chance after chance after chance. Mallorca in the second half didn't have any chances at all. Like, not even one. And Alavés, again, just constantly creating chances. 15 shots for them. Only managing to get 4 on target, but, you know, either way. And Real Mallorca only a total of 4 shots in the match and 2 on target, which is really, really poor. Possession-wise, it was 50-50. 50% Alavés and 50% Mallorca, but I think that's mainly because towards the end, once Alavés had the result, they just kind of let Mallorca have the ball. They just sit back. They knew they were the home side. All they had to do is defend, and they did it very well. Mallorca, again, offensively today, really poor. Defensively, in the first half, good, but in the second half, also really poor. You know, the first half, the first goal for Alavés coming from the corner, it's David Lopez. It's his man that he should be marking. It's a good cross, but again, the header is easy because he just doesn't have anyone on him. Defensively, really poor from that corner. And then again, the second goal, you know, you could constantly see Perez and Martinez linking up on that right-hand side. They were constantly looking dangerous. And Perez was putting in cross after cross after cross, and he couldn't be stopped. And, you know, his man was Johan Mojica, and I think Mojica out there today was so poor. Because, again, I just think Perez was doing whatever he wanted to do. Every time he could cut in, he could put in a cross. Mojica just couldn't stop him. And then, you know, Perez in the second goal, he puts in the low cross to Martinez. Martinez gets the shot off. Leo Roman is going to make the save, but again, it's David Lopez. He gets the block, it goes under his legs, a rebound goes into the back of the net. You know, David Lopez, it's a shame because I really think in the first half he was playing very well. Then going into that second half, you know, it's his man from his corner, and then it's his rebound. You could almost call it an own goal. You know, you just can't be giving away results like that. Obviously, it's not all his fault. It's the whole team that just played bad. Offensively, there wasn't much going on. The midfield wasn't fully there today. And then the defense, you know, first half was decent, but second half was really, really poor. One thing, I also have to say is I think Vidal Muriqi, can you really blame him? Again, he just didn't have any chances at all. He didn't even have one. I don't think he had a shot in the whole match. And he's the striker, For your striker to not have a whole shot in full 90 minutes is, really, really worrying. It's really worrying, He's got 21 goals this season. When he gets a chance, he gets a shot on target or he scores it, and he just didn't have a chance in the whole match, not a single shot. He should have done more, as well as all of the attackers should have done more. But either way, Vidal Muriqi, he didn't get much through balls, he didn't get good crosses, so again, there's not really much he could do. So overall, poor team performance. Alavés, if we talk about them, in the first half, they didn't really do much. They were going forward, they had a few chances, but I'd say again, Alavés and Mallorca did just about the same in the first half. It is true that I think when Mallorca got the first goal, they relaxed too much. They allowed Alavés to attack more, but either way, they were defending well. So first half, not much. And then in the second half, you've got to give it to Alavés. They were so intense in that second half. They really, really were. They were putting in constant work, pressure, attacking non-stop. Phenomenal first half, phenomenal second half from Alavés. They scored 2 goals. They brought it back. They were really intense. They defended well. Fair play to Alavés. Not much more to say. Martinez got the 2 goals. The first goal is a good goal, but second goal, for me, it's an own goal. But either way, he did very well. I think Martinez and Perez constantly linking up. That's where the danger was. For me, Perez is my man of the match. He's playing as a right back, but he was just constantly putting in cross, creating chances. I think it was brilliant. So yeah, that is going to be the end of today's live stream from me here. I have been your host. My name is Daniel Armstrong. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's YouTube Play Red channel. A disappointing result, but I will say up against a tough opponent at a tough ground, but the team performance was still just not good enough out there. Really, really poor. A brilliant goal from Jambiri Gili, his second goal for the club. Happy for him, but on the table, it's not good news. Have a good rest of your weekend, everybody, and we will see you next week out. Take care, everybody.